I come to remove all the obstacles. Bhakti Vigna Vinash Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. So yes, sometimes we feel there are many obstacles on our path. Prabodhananda Saraswati in one verse he says, Kala Kaler Bhadana Indriya Veli Varga Shri Bhakti Marga Iha Kantaka Koti Buddha. He said the first problem is that we're living in Kali Yuga. And therefore, spiritual life in Kali Yuga, very difficult proposition. Not easy. And then he says the second problem, Balina Indriya Vairi Varga, my senses, my mind are so strong. Isn't it? Once I was in the car and there was a sign and it said, do not disturb, already disturbed. We are just so much disturbed. The mind is coming up with so many problems. And therefore, he says it's difficult because I'm in Kali Yuga, it's difficult because my mind and senses are out of control. And then he says, Shri Bhakti Marga Ihakantaka Koti Ruddha. And then the next problem is that I'm on this beautiful path of bhakti. But there are Kantaka Koti Ruddha, there are thousands of thorns. We thought that when we came to Krishna consciousness it would be easy. Problem solved. And many problems were solved, but many new problems came. Or many problems we realized that we had that we didn't know before. So even once you're on this path of bhakti, it's not easy. There are many obstacles. Like when we join the ashram, we have a joke. For most people, the problem in coming into ashram life is too many sinful activities, mahapap. But for Indians, it's mahapap. Because sometimes mom and dad become very scared if you become too interested. So like this, many obstacles are there, but Nrsimhadev is coming and Nrsimhadev is removing all the obstacles. And today, what I thought we could read is the beautiful prayer, or the beautiful benediction that Prahlad Maharaj asks Nrsimhadev for. Nrsimhadev comes in front of Prahlad and he says, you can have anything, whatever you want, tell me. And Prahlad asks for something very, very beautiful. Many people have aspirations of what they want to achieve in their life. They say once there was a school graduation, so they brought two of the graduates, Manish and Pooja, onto the stage. These are all fictional characters. So the teacher asked on stage, Manish, what do you want to do in the future? He said, I want to become a billionaire. I want my own island. I want a cruise ship that I can use for my holidays. And I will have my own private jets and my own tailor-made mansions. The teacher came to Pooja and said, what would you like? She said, I'm very simple. I just want to marry Manish. So like that, people have many desires. But Prahlad Maharaj comes in front of Nrsimhadev and he says, you are Varada. You can give the best benediction. So, if you're asking me what benediction I would like from you, this is the benediction I would like. Would you like to hear? 7:10. Text number 7. Yadi dasyasi me kaman varamscha varadarshava kamanam vidya samroham bhavatastu vrinevaram. Prahlad Maharaj looks at Nrsimhadev and he says, Yadi dasyasi me kaman. Nrsimhadev, if you're coming to me saying that you will be ready to fulfill any desire I have, then Varamscha Varadarshava, Nishingadev, then I should ask you for the best thing. Because you can give any benediction. And therefore, what is the benediction I ask from you? Kamanam Vidya Sanroham. Please, Nishingadev, remove all traces of material desire from my heart. Bhavatastu Vinay Varam. If you can do this, Nishingadev, then I will consider my life a success. If one is very, very wise, then what they'll do is that when they go in front of the Lord, they won't ask for cursory things. I want a house by the sea, a color TV, a 50 million gigabyte MP3, Jai Jagadish, Hare. This is the prayer. If you're wise, this is the prayer. This is the meditation. Do you want to make the prayer? Do you want to repeat after me, or are you scared? Some people are scared of making this prayer. So you can repeat. It's very simple. You can repeat line by line. You don't need to see it. You just need to hear and internalize it. Please repeat after me. Yadi dasyasi me kaman. Varanscha Varadarshava Kamanam Ritya Sanroham Bhavatastu Vrinay Varam. That is finished now. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prahlad Maharaj prays to Lord Nishingadev. O my Lord, best of the givers of benediction, if you at all want to bestow a desirable benediction upon me, then I pray from your Lordship that within the core of my heart there be no more material desires. Purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us how to pray for the benedictions of the Lord. He said, Nadhanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhakti raharitu. O my Lord, I do not want any amount of wealth, nor many followers, nor a beautiful wife, for these are all materialistic desires. But if I have to ask you for any benediction, I pray that in whatever forms of life I may take birth, under any circumstances, I will not be bereft of your transcendental devotional service. Devotees are always on the positive platform, in contrast to the Mayavadis, who want to make everything impersonal or void. One cannot remain void, shunyavadi. Rather, one must possess something. Therefore, the devotee on the positive side wants to possess something. And this possession is very nicely described by Prahlad Maharaj, who says, if I must take some benediction from you, I pray that within the core of my heart there may be no more material desires. The desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not at all material. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has echoed the prayer of Prahlad Maharaj by saying, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. But the whole world is saying, more dhanam, more janam, more sundarim. Once you can see on YouTube, they interviewed the richest man in the world, a multi-billionaire. So he was just crowned the richest man in the world. And then the reporter said, can you in one word describe how you're feeling in this moment? And he came on the mic, and in one word he said, more. It's amazing. Material desires are a game you can't win, and simultaneously a game that you can't give up. Imagine if there's a game that you can't win it, whatever you do, and simultaneously it's a game that you can't even give up and say, now I'm frustrated. That type of game is the most dangerous type of game. But that is the game that basically 99.99% of people in the material world are playing, because they're trying to find happiness through material things. It's a game you can't win, because Avritam Jnanametena Jnanino Nityavedina. I forgot the next slide. Does anyone know this? I know the last line. Dushpurena nalena cha. In this verse, Krishna says that lust covers the intelligence of the living being, and when they try to satisfy that lust, then that lust simply burns like a fire. Sometimes you may have some material desire in your mind, and then you think, let me just fulfill it, and let me just get rid of it. Fulfill it, get rid of it. Done. Then I can go back to my bhakti. But no, dushpurena nalena cha. You fulfill it. The worst thing is that you feel guilty because you fulfilled it, and the even worse thing is it comes back 10 times stronger. Material desires is a game you can't win. And you know the most amazing thing is it's also a game that we can't give up. Because we know I'm never going to win this game. But at the same time, we can't give up this game. Because what does Prahlad Maharaj say? Puna punas charvita charvananam. Most people in this world, what are they doing? They are simply chewing and chewing. When you have chewing gum, there's rasa for about 7 seconds, and then it's just hard work. That's the reality. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj is coming in front of Nrsimhadev and he's saying, Nrsimhadev, in his humility, he's saying, I need help because I can't give it up myself. The biggest lie in the world is the lie that material things will make you happy. But it's a lie that we keep accepting even when we see how untrue it is. We try to convince each other that we are happy. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told the story of the 2-cent circus. You know this story? A circus had come to town. So everyone queued up to go in the circus, because after all, you go in the circus for a good time. So everyone queued up, and the entrance fee was only 2 cents. What a bargain! But there was only one rule in the circus. Only one person in at one time. One at a time. So they all queued up in anticipation, and the first one went in, paid his 2 cents. And then he went in waiting to see that amazing show. Is it going to be a laser show? Is it going to be an acrobatic show? Is it going to be a lion show? And 2 big wrestlers came out of the side and gave him a good beating. Oh my God, I didn't know I'm part of the show. I thought I'm watching the show here. This looks like I'm part of the show. Anyway, somehow or other, he scrambled out, and the exit was right next to the entrance. So he came out, and there was a huge queue. Everyone was waiting, and everyone, how was it? How was it? He thought, my God, I just queued up for hours. I paid all that good money to go in, and now if I tell them I had a terrible time, they'll think I'm silly. So he looked at them, he said, first class. You won't be disappointed. So the next fellow went and paid his good money. He got the same beating. And then he came out and everyone said, how was it? How he had a good time. All of these guys, he said, no, wonderful, amazing. And like this, everyone went into the circus. Everyone had a good beating. And everyone convinced everyone else. I'm happy. This, dear friends, is material life. The odds are stacked against us. Sometimes people come to a Hare Krishna temple, they don't like hearing us say all of these things. They don't know, why are you guys so, it's a nice, sunny Sunday afternoon. Life is good. Why do you have to make it so heavy? Such a, there's no happiness. Why so pessimistic? Sometimes people think we're pessimistic. But no, we are realistic. Because the amount of pleasure that this body can give you and the amount of pain is completely imbalanced. The duration of the pleasure that you get in this body, compare it to the duration of the pain. Think about something that happiness from the body, eating a good meal. Okay, how long? For the first 7 minutes of the meal is good. And then it's kind of like gradually becoming lower, no? But imagine if someone catches your thumb in the door. That is not going to last 7 minutes, dear friends. That's going to last a whole lot longer. So the odds are against you in terms of duration. The odds are against you in terms of variety. What are the variety of ways in which this body can give you pleasure? Maybe. But what are the variety of ways in which it could go wrong? Can you get any happiness from your little finger? But this little finger can give you unlimited amounts of pain. So in terms of duration, the odds are stacked against you. In terms of variety, the odds are stacked against you. And in terms of intensity, the odds are stacked against you, because I could just bring a tiny little needle. Tiny. And if I put it on your body, you will be jumping up and down in pain. But what does it take to actually, so many arrangements it requires to find happiness? So therefore, people say, you are all pessimistic. No, we say we are realistic. But actually, we're more than realistic, we're optimistic. Because we do know how to be happy in this world. But that happiness has to come in a different way. Dear friends, we can hear so many lectures in Krishna consciousness, but it's going to come back down to the simple point that if you render unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service, only then will your soul be satisfied. Savepom sham paro dharmo yado bhakti yado saje ahaytuki apratihata yenatma suprasidati. Do you really want to experience Atma suprasidati, satisfaction of the soul? Then you have to engage in bhakti radoksaje, devotional service to the Supreme Person. But that devotional service has to be of a certain quality, ahaytuki, no motivation. I will serve as long as I get X, Y, and Z. No motivation, no expectation, no agenda. I serve for your pleasure. And apratihata. The service has to be uninterrupted. We have to show up every single day. One of the devotees at the manor used to tell me, when the alarm clock goes off in the morning, get up, dress up, and show up. I said, this sounds like an army. He said, in the beginning, you have to be committed. So therefore, that person who engages in uninterrupted service, consistent, and they don't do it for any extraneous personal gain. Very simple. That person will achieve Atma-Sukhya according to Bhagavatam. And so here, Prahlad Maharaj is teaching us that the best prayer we can make is the prayer that material desires disappear on the core of our hearts. This is what will attract Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. However, Krishna is also all attracted. Kleshagni subhada moksha lamutagrit surulabha sangrananda visheshatma Shri Krishna kavishi jasa. Goswami says that when you engage in pure devotional service, then it has certain characteristics. And one of them, Shri Krishna Karishini. That devotion attracts even Krishna. So Krishna, who is attracted by the whole world, who is attractive to the whole world, himself is attracted by someone who has purity in their character. So this whole pastime of Prahlad Maharaj and Nrsimhadev, and indeed all of the pastimes of the Srimad Bhagavatam, are to help us understand that the person who has purity of love, the person who has no material desires, they are the highest. Sometimes people think the sannyasis are higher than the grihastas. But the Bhagavatam then shows through the pastime of Ambarish that if a grihasta has purity, then they can be shown to be higher than even a tyagi. Generally, we think men are the natural gurus and the ladies have to follow them. But in the Bhagavatam, we hear the story of the wives of the Yajnik Brahmanas. And because they had bhakti, because they had no material desire, they were shown to be more advanced than their husbands. Generally, we think demigods are always higher than demons. So then in the Bhagavatam, we find a demon who has devotion and who outshines the king of the demigods. Vritrasura is shown to be much more devoted than even Indra. Sometimes we think the kings or those who have position, they are much more advanced than the simple ones, the ones doing the Sudra work. But then we have the pastime of Jadabharat and King Rahugana. And King Rahugana comes off the palanquin and he bows down to Jadabharat and he says, I need to hear from you. How can I control my own mind? You please become my guru. Sometimes we think the Brahmanas are higher than those because of their birth. Yeah, me, I am a Brahmana. But then what happens at Naimisharanya? All the Brahmanas have assembled and then Sutta Goswami comes, and Sutta Goswami is of Pratiloma birth, lower birth. But they all look at Sutta Goswami and they say, you sit on the Vyasasana, we'll hear from you, because it doesn't matter. Naham Vipro Nachan Narapati. I'm not a Brahmana. The main thing is, are you a Vaishnava? So therefore, every single story of the Bhagavatam is reminding us that Shuddha Bhakti is the goal of the devotee. Pure devotion. In the world, everyone is looking for something pure. Pure juice. pure silk, pure gold. But what we really want is pure devotion. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanagita manakulyena krishnanu sivanam bhaktirutama. So on this day, we are praying to Lord Nrsimhadev, just as Prahlad Maharaj prayed that let me develop this purity of devotion. Otherwise, we are in spiritual life, but we can't really experience what Krishna consciousness is. Sometimes people say, I'm chanting, I'm reading, I'm doing everything, but I'm not feeling. But it's not just about doing. We must do with purity. Because that's what Krishna is interested in. Murko vadati vishnaya, dhiro vadati vishnare, ubhayor vadasimam punyam, bhavagrahi janardana. Krishna just wants the purity. So like this, Prahlad Maharaj is reminding us that if we want to ask for any benediction today, you have an opportunity. Go in front of Nrsimhadev and say, may all the material desires disappear, and then I will be free to serve. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. So, if anyone would like to ask any question, if anyone has anything I said, if you want to, we have a little bit of time if anyone wants to ask. Or do you want to feast? Feast time. Anyone would like to ask a question?